Hi, this is Free Thinking Through the Fourth Turning. I'm Sasha Stone. Obama's Museum, an ivory tower made of granite. Why do Democrats think their perpetual sneer is the best play to unite this country? Because that is not their goal. The emergence of America's ruling class in Chicago to celebrate the Obama Presidential Center Museum hit like a gust of hot, wet wind. Just days before, tornadoes tore through Illinois and Iowa, upending homes and wreaking havoc on the landscape. By the time Barack Obama and his royal court were ready to roll out the red carpet, the skies had cleared. The building perfectly reflects how Obama might see himself, but certainly how he's ruled over the past 15 years. He still can't let go of his position as God and King of the once mighty utopia, one I devoted most of my life to building, protecting, and defending. I was a true believer and a good soldier. For podcast listeners, a tweet by James Tate with a picture of the Obama Library. The Obama Presidential Library really is stunning. Obtuse, mysterious, and opaque, the building, like its inspiration, towers over the indistinguishable figures below. The swirling paths and gardens, not blending into the landscape but rather projecting outward, with a kind of bulk you could even see from space. Not even a tornado could make a dent. The quote on the side of the mighty beast reads, "You are America.
Unconstrained by habit and convention, unencumbered by what is, because you're ready to seize what ought to be. For everywhere in this country, there are first steps to be taken. There's new ground to cover. There are more bridges to be crossed. And it is you, the young and fearless at heart, the most diverse and educated generation in our history, who the nation is waiting to follow. Because Selma shows us that America is not the project of any one person. Because the single most powerful word in our democracy is the word we. We the people. We shall overcome. Yes, we can. That word is owned by no one. It belongs to everyone. Oh, what a glorious task we are given to continually try to improve this great nation of ours.
The quote comes from Obama's speech not in Chicago, but at the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. Most of the rest of it has been trimmed away to make the statement appear more inclusive, shall we say. But note the use of the word we. His speech was full of flowery language about how we have to come together as a country. There's a tweet from Heather. Everyone got invited to the biggest celebration in America for the Obamas except for this guy. He was not invited because no one likes him, because he's a lying, crude, rude, degrading, belittling, bullying, unpatriotic, un-American, racist, homophobic, rapist, felon. The sitting president of the United States and the majority of Americans who voted for him were not invited to the party. Not only weren't they invited, but they're also not allowed anywhere at any time in a society largely controlled by the left. Here is Ben Shapiro.
Obama, the racial divider-in-chief, opened his truly hideous presidential center on the south side of Chicago yesterday. He spent his time reprising his More Perfect Union speech. He was preaching unity and hope. As I've said before, the disappointment of Barack Obama as a politician and a human being is that in 2008, he ran as the great unifier, and by 2012, he was running as the great disunifier. He was running as a man who divided Americans based on race, based on sexual orientation, based on political acumen, and then he would proclaim that only if you were good, true, and decent, and maybe victimized, could you join in the project of America. Now he is back to, I'm a unifier. Donald Trump is the divider. Listening to this unbelievably divisive politician. He was just subtle about it. He was good at it. President Trump is not a uniter. He obviously is quite divisive. But he also says all the quiet parts out loud. Barack Obama's entire shtick for years was that he would pretend that he was trying to unify while saying some of the most divisive stuff in American history. Now, here he was yesterday.
And they are not Republican or Democratic values. They're American values we can all share, regardless of party. Values every president here today, as different as we are, has tried our best to uphold. Values that John McCain and Mitt Romney believed in, no less than I did. It is our greatest inheritance, the story of America at its best, because it reflects a basic faith in the decency of our fellow citizens and the possibility that, despite all of our differences, we can see each other and understand one another.
Okay, this guy destroyed John McCain, and then he proceeded to destroy Mitt Romney as a human being. Listening to him talk about the values we hold in common with John McCain. He suggested that John McCain was just George W. Bush Part 3. He went after Mitt Romney and suggested his super PACs said that Mitt Romney was a person who was getting people killed of cancer because of his terrible record in the capital markets. His campaign pushed out propaganda about Mitt Romney forcibly cutting the hair of gay kids when he was a teenager and strapping a dog to the top of his car. His vice president went out there proclaiming that Mitt Romney wanted to re-enslave black people. Listening to Barack Obama talk about divisiveness and how he wants to stop it, it's like O.J. Simpson's book, If I Did It. You did it, dude. He continued along these lines.
Deep in our gut, we want to find a way to turn towards each other again, not further away. I believe this because I've seen it all across our country. In cities that have worked together to reclaim their streets from crime, in rural communities that have rebuilt their economy, in businesses that are finding new ways to make housing affordable, in those ordinary people in the Twin Cities who brave frigid temperatures, risk their own safety, standing shoulder to shoulder to look out for their neighbors and sometimes look out for strangers because they knew that was the right thing to do.
We want to be best friends with each other again. We're going to be best friends, not you. Not you, Bob. Step back. And Barack Obama is a great unifier. It was always pathetic. And again, this is why Trump shattered. He really did sort of shatter the bizarre media consensus that everybody had to be friends. This is one of my points of great, great irritation with George W. Bush. There are a lot of things that I think have been, directed at George W. Bush incorrectly. I think that many of the ways people talk about the war in Iraq are rather disgusting, actually, and what George W. Bush did during that war. With that said, these sort of, we're all in solidarity, the Bushes acting as though they were chummy with the Obamas while the Obamas divided the country, it was hard to stomach, for sure. And the fact that Donald Trump really didn't do that, I think it was sort of a breath of fresh air in that sense.
No, Trump would not be allowed in, and he never really was, which goes a long way toward explaining why he won the second time. Trump feels like one of us, who have taken the shape of Obama's sworn enemies. We are rejected outsiders because this America, their America, depends on and is built around race and gender identity. Both Barack and Michelle Obama made a point of elevating the illegal immigrants who crossed over under Joe Biden and celebrated the citizen army that went to war on federal officers, even after condemning such actions on January 6th. They prioritize illegal immigrants because they are mostly non-white and thus have special protective status, as long as they vote blue no matter who, of course. And yet, for most Americans, they still don't understand why they've been sidelined like this. Once you understand the rules of utopia, where an endless supply of oppressed people along with an endless supply of racists is what powers their engine. Here is a TikToker commenting on Michelle Obama.
They are the beating heart of this country. They are us, and we are them. And to ignore this simple truth, to refuse to respect the contributions and experiences of people who aren't exactly like us. Y'all puts us all at risk. Failing to see the humanity in all people puts us all on a slippery.
Here's something that I cannot get past. There is a consistent, calculated, and deliberate strategy that is being formed around our immigration discussion, where the Democratic Party found it to be politically advantageous to impact apportionment and maintain power in the House of Representatives. And so now their party platform has adopted the idea that immigrants come first. This conversation has nothing to do with policy. It has everything to do with emotional framing and attempting to move you from focusing on the law and to completely drag you into your emotion. Because nobody likes someone who's mean to their neighbor. I mean, duh. All of the good feelings that you have about legal immigrants, that emotion gets transferred to everybody. To people who you don't know their background, we have no idea who they are, you don't know their circumstances, you don't know if they have records back home, you have no idea about these people, but they're your neighbors. By removing the word illegal from the conversation, they want to collapse the distinction. This is an example of semantic conflation, and it's very intentional. Now, any policy that enforces immigration feels like you're being harmful to your neighbor. The emotional response is going to be to shut down any conversation or political analysis of the problem. And that is exactly the point and why they're doing this. Here's what I can't get past. It's the blatant hypocrisy. The same political movement who tells you that illegal immigrants are your neighbors is the same political party that told you that if your relatives, your spouse, your friends, your children, your mother, your father voted for Trump, you should cut them off. And in some cases, even if they didn't vote for Trump, even if they're just Republican or independent and just not Democrat, that you should disinvite them to Christmas dinner. Let me say this again very clearly. Your actual neighbor, the one who grew up next door to you, the one who spent years with you, the one who's lived life with you, the one who shares your bloodline, it's okay to cut them off according to this particular party. If they voted differently than you, the message is yes, cut them off. But the person who entered the country illegally under unknown circumstances who you've never met is your neighbor, and you should embrace them automatically.
It's an ideology that comes from Western countries overtaken by global elites who need this form of virtue signaling to justify their power and their worldwide alliance. But it doesn't do much for ordinary Americans who don't have the luxury of putting themselves last. For podcast listeners, a tweet from Mia Farrow, world leaders at the Obama Presidential Center. I see Angela Merkel, Trudeau, etc., many celebrities, every living former U.S. president, beautiful, much loved and respected Obama family. It is a kind of class system that pretends to be about equality, about inclusion and diversity, but really, it's a way of categorizing us and deciding our worth. If you can participate in this game, you can go far. But if you don't, out you go. Nate Bargatze dared to show up alongside RFK Jr. and his wife Cheryl. The internet found out about it, and things got so bad his publicist had to issue a statement that he wasn't a Trump supporter. What kind of America is this? If they want to talk about unity, they have to call off their attack dogs.
Nate Bargatze, the top-selling comedian in the United States today, decided to go full MAGA and may have destroyed his booming career.
I'm going to tell you how to know if somebody's MAGA. It's real easy. If they're silent, they are MAGA. The default position is MAGA, unless stated otherwise. Another good way to tell is if the only issue that they're very vocal about is data centers. Data centers is a perfect issue for people who are MAGA but don't want to be seen as MAGA, because they can be racist, sexist, homophobic, whatever, and still feel like they're on the right side of a social issue for the first time. So they're very vocal about data centers right now. Another good way to know is if they talk a lot about Israel. They don't like Israel, but they're pretty silent on basically every other social issue. They love hammering data centers and Israel right now because they feel like they are finally on the right side of a social issue, but they don't have to change anything about themselves. They don't have to actually be good people. So they're very excited about this new social issue with data centers in Israel that they can finally join the right side. Oh, look, guys, I'm such a warrior. I'm on the right side just like you guys. But if those are the only issues that they talk about, it's pretty surefire that they are MAGA.
Aside from all that, on a purely internal level when it comes to Nate Bargatze, if you believe that not using profanity and keeping your material clean as a performing artist inherently raises your stock and makes you more valuable, not just as a performer, but as a human being, that's giving Christian conservative. That's giving MAGA all day.
Don't lie to us, Nate. We know why you were there. You want to say everything's not political. You're not political. It's precisely that serious. We become the things that we tolerate, which is why I'm here to drag you on the internet for publicly having the audacity to say, I'm not political. That statement itself is steeped in the racism and hatred and bigotry and misogyny that white men have carried around for centuries in this nation. And I'm done with it. I am tired of unimpressive white dudes getting a pass when they say, I'm not political. Look around you. You knew exactly what you were showing up for. You know exactly who he is. You're just too much of a coward to say it. You're too much of a coward to risk your entire platform by coming out and saying, actually, I'm Nate Bargatze. So what is it? Which one is it, Nate? You don't get to say, I'm not political, and then show up to a UFC cage fight on the White House lawn while we are in the middle of a fascist takeover.
Who is actually surprised by this? Were you born yesterday? Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Oh, you mean the white celebrity who says they don't do politics is a secret MAGA? What? Oh, wait, guys, it's fine. His rep just says he likes UFC, and that's why he's going to Bill Cosby's Alcoholic Rager later, because he loves alcohol. What are you, a dancing monkey? Quit going to rapist parties, kid.
So I used to like Nate Bargatze. My wife even got me tickets to his show for my birthday last year. You know, it was enjoyable. Now I've got a sweatshirt I've got to throw away. So I was looking forward to his new show coming out too, and I know what I won't be.
Dear Nate Bargatze, I just have a little story for you. I had a chance to go to your concert last year, and it was so fun. I love that you're just never offensive. But let's just pretend for a minute that you had a moment where you started spouting something that was incredibly offensive. It was racist. It was misogynistic. It was just so wrong. And because I love your comedy, there's a picture of me in the background laughing because I love your comedy. If that clip went viral, I would have to explain to my family, my friends, my followers, who know that that's not what I stand for. That I only went because I usually love your comedy. But that particular statement that you made was offensive and should not have been said. By forgetting that last part in all of your press releases, you are telling us way more with your silence than you ever have with your words.
Those of us who've been alive a long time remember when what mattered was the majority of Americans, the free market, democracy, and all that. Box office, ratings, and elections all decided the direction of our country and our culture. Not anymore. They want our country to look a lot like Obama's kingdom, epitomized by his brutalist monument. He's way up there, and we're all way down here. And if you worship that way, we'll all get along fine, they say. But don't you dare vote in a way that we don't like, or we will go to war. So is that the plan from here on out? Must all elections be sanctioned and approved by the Democrats, or else? From utopia to dystopia. Obama was not born in Chicago, but his monument will reside there as a showcase of his preferred legacy. He's the Chicago guy, not the Hawaii guy. The fortress will be a place for travelers driving across this country to stop and admire, along with other historic landmarks in Illinois, like the birthplace of Abe Lincoln and Ronald Reagan, two of Obama's strongest influences, or so he has said. The Obama Museum event was a reminder of how we all shaped this story, the bad guys and the good guys of Obama's Camelot, Obama-lot, the height of the glory days where everyone had a seat at the table, and we'd mostly eradicated the ists and the phobes. I think Obama thought making history as the first black president meant more than just winning an election, and that the influence he had and the power he attained made him more than just a two-term public servant. He was, after all, living history, and everywhere we look, we can see his fingerprints. It was the play Hamilton. It was Bruce Springsteen before he shrank into a bitter old prune. It was Tom Hanks when he could still open movies. It was when Oprah still had influence.
We want to take you live to the White House, where earlier today, First Lady Michelle Obama hosted Broadway's Hamilton at the White House. You can see President Obama is now in front of a podium where he's about to introduce the cast. Let's listen in.
Talk after the curtain fell. So, feeling a little deprived, we invited the cast to perform today because we wanted to share this incredible musical with folks who might otherwise not get the experience. And I want to thank them so much, the show's producers, for helping to bring Hamilton to the White House.
Podcast listeners, a tweet from Lakota Man. The Obama Presidential Center is a reflection close to perfection. They think that showcasing their high status while locking out so many Americans is enviable. It's U2 and Oprah, it's Julia Roberts and George Clooney, it's Jennifer Hudson and Steven Spielberg. It's all four former presidents and their first ladies. Obama made a point of saying they are all of like minds except one president, the one who defeated them again after their 10-year war.
Happy birthday, Donald Trump. May this be your last one. Cheers.
Today's Donald Trump's birthday. You fat titty fucking bitch. I hope you fall down the stairs and your cankles break. I hope you get the worst swamp ass of your life in this heat. I hope you go to open up all your presents. It's just fucking pieces of poop. Just piles of poop and gift wrap. I genuinely hope today is the worst day of your life, you piece of shit, fat fucking titty ass fascist cunt. Go ahead and suck a fat stinky, have a heart attack, and then die.
Today somebody told me that I'm gonna go to jail for saying that the president's gonna pass away soon. I hope you have a good day.
Jesus fucking Christ, can he die already? I just want to have one day of fucking rest.
I couldn't imagine being so obsessed with a political figure, bro. Like, no matter which way you swing, okay? I just saw that ginger dude. I forgot his name, but he's the guy with the long hair, always talking about Trump, always talking. Okay. How are you guys so obsessed with this guy still? Years and years and years and years in. That you guys are talking about the Knicks game and how Trump's going to go, and you guys are like, oh my God, a bad omen is coming. Bro, get over it. Why is every single thing in your life tied to this guy? I don't know about you. When I don't like somebody, if I want to, I say my piece and I move on. I don't make it a lifestyle and an identity. Don't get me wrong, did I vote for Trump? Sure. Can I care less if Trump, is the president or not? Hopefully he does great things. But it's not my personality. These guys, man, are just like, there's something there that just isn't right.
Who do these people think they are? They don't have the right to tell the American people who they can and can't vote for. It's their job to make their best case to us to earn our votes. And either they do or they don't. But they work for us, not the other way around. For podcast listeners, a tweet by MJ Truth Ultra named this band. And it's Joe Biden and Jill, Barack Obama and Michelle, W. Bush and Laura, Bill Clinton and Hillary. We're all supposed to cheer seeing them standing there as a united front against the sitting president, They have absolutely no self-awareness about how tone-deaf this appears to most people. Do they think we've forgotten? Do they think we don't remember Michael Moore calling George W. Bush a war criminal at the Oscars?
And the Oscar goes to... Bowling for Columbine, Michael Moore and Michael Donovan!
This is the first Academy Award and nomination for Michael Moore and Michael Donovan.
Thank you very much. On behalf of our producers, Kathleen Glynn and Michael Donovan from Canada, I'd like to thank the Academy for this. I've invited my fellow documentary nominees on the stage with us, and we would like to, they are here in solidarity with me because we like nonfiction. We like nonfiction, and we live in fictitious times. We live in a time where we have fictitious election results that elects a fictitious president. We live in a time where we have a man sending us to war for fictitious reasons, whether it's the fictition of duct tape or the fictitious of orange alerts. We are against this war, Mr. Bush. Shame on you, Mr. Bush. Shame on you. And anytime you've got the Pope and the Dixie Chicks against you, your time is up. Thank you very much.
They're terrible, blatant propaganda films like Oliver Stone's W.
Any other brilliant ideas?
How about axis of weasels?
Don't get cute, Carl. This is serious now.
I think it needs to be stronger. Just cut through the noise, like Reagan with the evil empire speech.
Was it too much then to... What about axis of evil?
Axis of evil. Evil. Yeah, I like the ring of that. That's good.
Mr. President, Axis brings up World War II. You can't link Germany and Japan with Iraq and North Korea.
No, I disagree, Colin. Weapons of mass destruction make these countries more dangerous. We've got to begin educating the public about the size of this war and its implications.
You have an approval rating of more than 80% right now, sir. It's just astounding. Not since Roosevelt after Pearl Harbor. The American people want revenge. They liked Afghanistan. They want more.
Mr. President, if I may, given your strong commitment to democracy, do you think that Iran should be lumped together with Iraq and North Korea? After all, Iran has a democratically elected president.
As always, Guru, sharp.
Thank you.
Iran is not Iraq, and Iraq is not Iran. I know that. If we can get one democracy going in one of these places, Iran, Iraq, believe me, Reagan was right. It's going to spread to all these countries. Because people want freedom. With this message, we're sending strong word to reformers over there in Iran to turn on these deadbeat dead-enders, these Ayatollah cockamamie. No, Iran stays in.
When you make threats, sir, you have to back them up. Now, you'd be committing us to planning out 3 fully operational wars with 3 countries.
Now, I'm not saying war. I'm saying lay down the law.
But the speech, as written, is taking a preemptive posture against countries, none of whom have declared war on us. For 60 years now, this country.
And Adam McKay's truly awful film about Dick Cheney, Vice, one of the worst films ever made, with the sole exception of his next movie, Don't Look Up.
We will also be receiving the daily intelligence briefing before the president. That gets us inside the decision curve.
Which we'll actually be reading.
Bush approved all of this?
We have a understanding.
What about the emails? Paper shredders don't work for emails.
The entire administration will run off the RNC's private server.
And we've deactivated automatic archiving. We're clean.
They're not finished. They expect the other half of the country to choke down more of it, unending amounts of it, in hopes of forcing us all into compliance through the worst art the film industry has ever seen because it is under complete control of a totalitarian movement. Next year, we'll be tortured with a sure-to-be-terrible Sean Penn film on January 6th. For podcast listeners, a tweet from ABC News, Sean Penn will direct a movie about a police officer who was at the January 6th Capitol riot. They still see themselves as fighting the oppressive forces against them, when the truth is that they are the oppressive force. Trump was the way out. The clocks were striking 13. If any of us had been paying attention, we'd have known what we built mirrored Orwell's 1984 and where it would ultimately take us. Every word of 1984 was a cautionary tale. Co-opting and distorting language, check. A Goldstein-like figure to sell 2 minutes of hate, check. A mandate to love Big Brother or else, check. An inside of accepted citizens, ruled by the party elites and policed by the children's spies, check. The abandoned working class, the proles outside of it, check. Trump's win to me was like Winston Smith's hope for the future, should the proles rise up. Quote, but the proles, if only they could somehow become conscious of their own strength, would have no need to conspire. They need only to rise up and shake themselves like a horse shaking off flies. And if they chose, they could blow the party to pieces tomorrow morning. Surely sooner or later, it must occur to them to do it. End quote. That Obama and the rest of the establishment did worse than refuse to step aside, but went to war on the duly elected president in an attempt to impeach, indict, discredit, and destroy him, is the smoking gun that they no longer believe in American democracy. It's their way or nothing. Americans have no way out. For podcast listeners, a tweet from USA Today, the Obama Presidential Center brought out celebrities and prominent politicians like Gavin Newsom and Oprah. See them mingle in the crowd. All the people ever had was Trump. And indeed, he was and remains a mighty force. He is the troll to Obama's virtue signal. The two internet presidents who led whole armies online, facing off against each other for 15 years. Obama's 10-year plea to the American people to choose him feels desperate by now. Choose me, love me, follow me, worship me. It doesn't mean America is racist because they didn't. That has been the left's method of policing all of us for far too long, and this country can unify the minute they snap out of it. They want us to see them as the better side, the special people, our gods and goddesses. But I look at them and I see people who have long since cut themselves off from the rest of the country and have no plans to ever change. The museum reflects that better than anything ever has. What's inside? Doesn't matter. It looms large. Thank you for listening to my podcast. You can find more of my work at sashastone.com. And if you'd like to become a paid subscriber or leave a tip, you can scroll down the homepage and find a link for that. And thanks so much for all the support, for the comments, for the letters, for the cards, for the donations, for the contributions. You guys are the best. And I'd be lying if I didn't say I had quite a few dark nights of the soul. And sometimes I wake up and I think, oh, this is really bad. Then I remember I have these wonderful people who like what I write, and that makes me feel a little bit better. So I hope you have a great weekend. And remember, To thine own self be true.
Into the room with your pencil in your hand. You see somebody naked and you say, who is that man? You try so hard but you don't understand just what you will say when you get home, because something is happening here, but you don't know what it is. Do you, Mr. Jones? You raise up your head and you ask, is this where it is? And somebody points to you and says, it's his. And you say, what's mine? And somebody else says, well, what is? And you say, oh my God, am I here all alone? And something is happening here, but you don't know what it is. Do you, Mr. Jones? Have many contacts among the lumberjacks to get you facts when somebody attacks your imagination. Nobody has any respect. Anyway, they already expect you to all give a check to tax-deductible charity organizations. The professors, they've all liked your looks. With great lawyers you have discussed lepers and crooks. You've been through all of F. Scott Fitzgerald's books. You're very well read, it's well known. But something is happening here,